Uh-oh. Cloudy.
Alright, welcome everyone. We're live. It's Zenith Online Racing. Apologies for the delay, some technical issues we're trying to work through, but we got everyone that we can into the lobby, and we're going to try to go racing here in Hungary. It looks a little overcast, and should be in for a good evening of racing. No more crossplay. We shut that off last week. We had a lot of issues in multiple tiers, so crossplay is going to be off for the foreseeable future. It just seems to cause too many issues. That everybody's connections are worse than normal, and it's really unstable. So, unfortunately, it's going to have to be like this for a little while, which sucks because it's going to hurt our numbers. But yeah, I think that's the way we got to go. Just give me 1 second here. I'm just trying to adjust the audio balance a bit. It looks like I went a little too far with the race volume audio. There we go. I think that's a bit better. Car was very loud there. Anyways, I'm Arpega. We're here round 11 in Hungary. And here with GP Colin. How are we doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing awesome. How are you? I know you're doing great.
I'm great, yeah, sorry. I'm just catching up on the chat here.
All right, our first guy is Packer, starting his hot lap. Gonna follow him along, see if I can't learn a thing or two.
Yeah, you're with Packer? I'm on board with him, actually, so that's convenient. I'm just going to get the chat open for the stream here and get back in the groove here. I think it's my second week in a row again, and missed I missed 2 races in the last few races, I think, which is unusual for me, but work's been bogging me down on Monday nights, so it's been tough getting home and being in the mood to jump in here. So obviously dealing with the stress of the lobby issues and the crossplay and stuff, that obviously isn't helping either, but yeah, good to be back and get back into the groove here. Packer really wide there.
Wow.
Didn't be dinged for it.
No, you gotta. The game is weird because if he tried to get right back on the track, I think it kind of hits you for the track exceeding track limits. But if you stay out just a little bit longer, you kind of get away with it. We have our first time, 1:16.3.
All right,
It's been a while. I don't know if that's a great time. The way these things usually go, the fastest times come on the last lap of qualifying usually.
Yeah, Packer usually sets a pretty good benchmark. Zamoglis, I think low 117s is a good mark. Zamoglis 118, probably not the greatest lap from him. He's definitely capable of better. Yeah, the track limits are a bit bizarre. It is weird. I do find if you stay off the track for a little bit and you lift a bit, they seem to kind of view it that you didn't gain an advantage, and they do let you carry on. So
exactly, yep.
16.6 for Lunar, so a few tenths down. RC's in the 16s. So yeah, I was saying that benchmark's about 117 is a good marker, and RC's tucked in just below that, and that's a really good qualifying lap from RC there. He's well up on a lot of the guys he's usually racing around as it stands. So really good start for RC. Hasn't had the greatest season. There's been a lot of mistakes and a lot of issues during the actual race sessions. So hopefully RC can get things turned around tonight. Good qualifying. That'll be a good place to start. And I'm going to see what he can do from there. 3rd place at the moment. Let's check in with some other drivers. We got T-Money on a lap. Looks like a lot of guys on flyers at the moment. We got Puff Digital coming through Sector 1. Just finished it. And let's ride with Puff and see what he can do. His teammate RC currently 3rd. So Could see a good showing for the Red Bulls here if Puff can put it all together. Really nice through that chicane, and using a lot of track on the turning. Looks really solid.
Spun.
Yep. I think Beck was another driver who hadn't checked in and showed up, so... Or maybe he checked in, I don't know. Just, he's famous for not checking in.
Alright, T-Money, come on, bring her home, buddy. T-Money about to hit the final turn.
There you go. Puff with the 117 flat, tucks in just behind RC. Adri tucks it in a couple tenths behind Puff. And see if he can improve. So pretty competitive time so far. Everybody pretty close to one another for the most part. Back with a bit of a wobble there, runs off the road. And Sharps, you were asking, what were the lobby issues? I'm not too sure. It seemed more of a Zenith specific issue, or some kind of issue with his EA account. Couldn't get logged into it for some reason, so we figured, hey, we'll reset the lobby to see if that helps him get in. But it seems like he can't connect to the EA servers, because, you know, like your PSN is sort of linked to the EA account, right? So if you can't get into the EA servers, no matter what, I don't think it would matter at this stage whether we did crossplay or not. I don't think there'd be an issue or a solution. So this is one of those situations. It's, you know, when it's one guy, it's hard to justify postponing or doing anything drastic to the planned race. You know, we've seen in the past when we've had issues where 3, 4, 5 guys couldn't get in, and it's like, well, now, you know, a quarter of the league can't, or the quarter of the tier can't race tonight because of some issue with the game. Those are the circumstances where we'll look at postponement and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the issues we've experienced have been with crossplay. I mean, most of these guys here signed up for a PlayStation League. I don't see the reason why we can't just keep racing on PlayStation for now. The crossplay is just, God, it's. I think it depends too much on the local connection, and it seems to hurt the actual performance. Because you know, here's another example for last week. You and I were talking about how the cars, they look like they're just kind of sliding over the surface on the crossplay. Like they're, it's like they're being animated to glide over the track, rather than, if you watch when we run the PlayStation lobbies, the cars look like they're actually stuck to the road. It looks like there's an actual, you know, there's actual grip in the car, and the way they corner and they ride the curbs, and I just, it not only did it look tacky last week, but we had all kinds of rubber banding and, you know, cars jumping ahead of one another, and it just, it's, you know, I pretty much had seen enough by the end of the race. I was thinking there's no way we're carrying on with this. So
yeah, really don't see any of that now.
No, it looks phenomenal. And I think qualifying did look okay last week for what it's worth, but, you know, it's something like, you know, you go back to, like, the whole season, we never had issues like that, and as soon as we do a cross-play race, it's like, whoa, what the hell is this? It doesn't even look like the same game.
Yeah, so hopefully that that fixes it, eliminating that crossplay. I mean, it is the first season with it, correct? So they obviously got a lot of issues to deal with, but...
Yeah, and I think it's sort of an issue that has always plagued this game, is that they rely too much on the local... Whoa, there's a big moment for Sam! Good job saving that, though. He nearly put it in the barrier. That's Puff on an outlap going by. But there was, you know, like, you know, in the past we've had drivers in the lobby where it's like their connection's really poor, and it was hard for other guys to drive around them. So yeah, it's an issue that's been plaguing this game for quite some time. I think the lack of, you know, a dedicated server, rather than, like, you know, we need a host with a good connection. Everybody else's connections to that person need to be good, and it's depending too much on the local stability. Mind you, you know, I think in a sport like this, or a game like this, where it's literally inches, you know, you're racing wheel to wheel, inches away from one another, it's super important for the connection to be strong. And we were just seeing basically it was like everybody's connection in crossplay lobby was downgraded. Like if you had a green, you're getting a yellow. If you had a yellow, you're getting a red. If you had a red, and it's like, well, your car is sliding all over the place, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it just became very obvious that the crossplay was just not going to work. Back up into 5th, good lap from him. T-Brum has just nudged ahead of Packer here, 116.1, and Packer has improved to 116.2, but not good enough for the top spot. RC is 116.3, so that time does look competitive for RC. He looks like he's on genuine pace in the top 3 right now, so good showing from RC. Lunar and Beck 4th and 5th. Damn Sam is 6th.
Adri spun. He was a quarter of a second up in the first sector.
Oh, yeah, I see
And
that
spun
yellow.
going through turn 4.
Yeah,
Damn.
I think that's where we're going to see a lot of our spins today. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there, Sharpshooter. The netcode has gotten really bad. I do think local connection seems to be the biggest factor. You know, like we've got guys racing in Europe, and they're stable while racing amongst people from North America. So it's not like on a PlayStation only lobby, it's manageable and there's no obvious glaring issues. But with crossplay, it was like people in the same continent were having lag with one another. And I think at that point you have to look and go, okay, look, the crossplay, nice feature, great, everybody can race on whatever platform, could bring in drivers from all over the place. But if you know, 13 guys are going out there and having a miserable race every night, it's not fun anymore. It's not enjoyable, and that, in my opinion, is going to kill the league quicker than only 13 guys showing up. Like, having 4 extra drivers on track, you know, and the sacrifice you make is very poor lobby performance. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it.
So I think, you know, Seiya here in P9, I followed his original lap, his timed lap, and he really had a little bit of a slip up in this 3rd sector. I'm following him now. Curious to see, because he's been so strong all season. P9 for qualifying is not, that's kind of unusual for him.
Yeah, and he's going to have a hard time making his way through the field with the difficulty of overtaking here. He was saying in the chat before the race that he is struggling. Like, he doesn't seem to have the pace. So right now Packer up just over 2/10, and that will be good enough to possibly break into the 115s and definitely put him on provisional pole. So got one final turn to make. He's gonna get on the power nice and early, get that wheel straightened out, use all the track on the exit, and great job from Packer into the 115s.
Seiya.
3/10 improvement. And yeah, Seiya right up in the mix now. So like you said, you know, I will say it's been like I think even from race 1, fly by the seat of your pants for Seiya. I mean, he kind of just dove in. He just dove in blind, you know, well, I can't race on the other night, so I got to go in with no assist, whatever. We'll see what happens. And he slowly throughout the season is, obviously the pace is there. We've seen it all year that the pace is good enough, but it's just about the consistency, and the consistency has gotten better. So, you know, right now he's put himself into the top 3 spot, and the track is very difficult to overtake at, even if he's slow.
Mm-hmm.
He might be able to hang on to a good finish here. See what he can do in the race session. See if he can improve, or if anyone can get ahead of him. Because right now he's sort of he's in the realm of those top 2 guys, and I'm not sure RC, Lunar, Puff, Beck. I don't know if any of those guys have the pace to get into the 115s and get up there and mix that up. So to see how that works.
Beck about to finish sector 1 here. Let's see where his time is at. He is up 300, down 300s, and then really got too squiggly there. I think Asylum right behind him is on a hot lap as well, and he's up 600ths.
Yeah, that's not enough. He's well off the pace right now, 117.8, so maybe not Asylum's track. He's been pretty strong this season, so it's unusual to see him so far down the order. Even in qualifying, he's generally been in that top 10. Yeah, I'm not just responding to the chat here. I'm not really sure what the issue is with the way EA runs the game, but for a game that relies so heavily on racing close to one another, and a little bit of lag in a shooter game probably is not as big of a deal as when you're literally millimeters away from the guy you're racing. We saw, even last week, I think there was a car had lagged into Brian, and he ended up with wing damage because of it.
Yep.
And it was lag that caused it. Yeah,
in the pits?
No, I don't think that was that. I think that was a whole different thing.
Oh, okay.
It was like literally on the track, like they were racing and a car lagged, and he's like, "Yeah, I ended up getting damage from that." And I was like, "Hey, that's the icing on the cake right there. You're doing everything right, and you get damaged because the game can't display itself properly."
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like none of the drivers did anything wrong. It was just how they had to respond and behave because of what they were seeing in front of them, and that was the big issue.
So we got a minute and a half left in qualifying. T-Brum is about ready to start his hot lap. He has fallen behind Packer by 2 hundredths. I'm sorry, 2 tenths-ish. Be curious to see if he can make up that difference. He's showing a lot of pace, obviously. But being up there and being able to pressure Packer is a good thing for us.
Yeah, for sure. Packer hasn't really been around all that much, so he's probably well down in the championship order at the moment. Big moment there for T-Brum, just really uncertain on the exit of that really quick left-hander there, and seems to have got it stabilized and puffs out. That's a bizarre place to lose the car Puff has crashed in. Generally don't see people DNF there. Must have just got really, really clumsy on the curbs there.
T-Brum now is nearly 2 tenths up, and somebody's in front of him weaving around, warming up his tires. Get out of the way.
Should be okay. It's like an Alpine, maybe Adri up there.
Really early on the throttle, very well, and look at that. Wow, 4 tenths. I'm sorry, 4 hundredths. Is Packer... Did Packer get to start his lap? It looks like he has.
Yeah, I think he is on the lap. He's 20 seconds in, so... I mean, this is the finest of margins. Packer really can't afford to put a foot wrong here. He does have a little bit of traffic up the road in front of him, and... Not sure
who it is. He was 4 hundredths up.
4 hundredths up?
4 hundredths.
That's literally all he needs. That's all he needs.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that part of it.
Really close.
I was thinking tenths.
Just a little tentative through that sector, though. I don't know if he's going to find the time he needs here. Very, there it is, 9 hundredths. That's enough. If he gets the final sector right, he's... Oh, big wobble there. That might be enough to cost him. That could cost him the pole right there, that wheel spin. There's a tire on the track. Can he get enough traction through this corner on the exit? Going to be tight. Might have it. And he does. Pole position for Packer. Wow. Pulls it out. What a battle that was. Great job from those two. And that's it for quality. So Packer takes pole. T-Brum second. Say third. Adri fourth. RC fifth. Lunar sixth. Puff seventh. Beck eighth. Sam ninth. T-Money 10th. Joshua 11th. Vinny 12th, I think it said. Yeah, so the times you guys are pointing out there, I think it's obviously like nobody has assists on. I'm not sure who Christian is, but Sharpshooter knows that. So I think there's that discrepancy there with the lack of assists. But I mean, if you look at the pace of everyone besides those top two, like everyone's very close to one another. And in a track like Hungary, it's going to be a very competitive race. Like I don't think anybody's like going to be dropped from, you know, the order here. Everyone's going to be in the mix, you know, nose to tail here. So I think we got a good opportunity for a good race here, and yeah, should be good. Unfortunate for Puff there, he lost it on the final run, and this is something that's plagued Puff all season. He's looks good in qualifying, and then he kind of has that mistake near the end of qualifying and then slides down the order a bit. I think he easily could have been top 5, so we'll see if Puff can get it together in the race and maybe get himself into a competitive position for the race session.
Top 9 were within 9/10 of each other. That's a nice grouping.
I think so, for sure. And these guys are pointing out that a lot of the drivers hadn't even broke the 116s, and I think that's it's somewhat surprising, but it's not. I mean, Hungary is a tricky track for a lot of people. A lot of people don't enjoy this circuit, and I think if you're not running assist, you're going to see those. You know, any little error is going to cost you a lot around a track like this. So, I think that probably has a lot to do with it, or at least some of the factor of what you're seeing there. But I think what we have seen throughout the season so far, watching these guys race, is the actual on-track racing in the race session has been phenomenal. I mean, maybe there's not as many guys with the outright pace like you see in Tier 2 that are bombing in these, you know, stonking laps that light up the charts. But once we get out there and we start racing, everybody's been really clean and really competitive, and you know, nobody's really ever out of it. So, other than self-induced errors, but everybody's been very competitive, and it's been probably the cleanest season of league racing that I've watched personally. You know, there hasn't been a lot of moments where I've been like, oh geez, like what were you doing there, you know, like it's very rarely happened from what I can remember of this season.
I've seen some firsthand.
Absolutely. I mean, are you talking about in Tier 3 though?
I don't want to kind of throw anybody Tier under the bus, but I've seen some.
Yeah, I was referring to Tier 1 though, and I think that was the whole point, was it was the, you know, the fact that like it does require more skill to race without the assist, and it does translate into actual, you know, better wheel-to-wheel racing that you and I we've watched some fantastic races this season together. Yep. So it's been actually really good.
You do bring up a great point that deserves consideration. I mean, turning off all the assists, does that make people drive a bit more cautiously? And that's maybe not the right word, but with more awareness or less carelessness.
Yeah. I think it's like, I don't think you can get away with a dive bomb when there's no assist. You can't get away with, you know, oh, I just hammered on the traction while I was all over the curbing because I ran wide and got away with it. Like, that kind of stuff isn't happening. So people are a little more patient, they're a little more cautious when they are racing wheel to wheel and when they're in those close battles. So I think that's, you know, kind of what you're touching on, is that it has the fact that you can't, you know, take those big risks because your car will punish you for it. So top 3 starts on the hards. Andrew's starting on the mediums. There's a fair chance Andrew could be in the lead by the end of turn 3. Because I will, like, if he gets a good launch off the line, there's a lot of room into turn 1. There's a fair run down to turn 1. And then the exit of turn 1 will also provide a lot more traction for him with those mediums. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for the guys on mediums on the start to make up some ground.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that if nothing else, at least gain one position and stay close to the 2 guys left in front of you. And then when the DRS comes in, see what you can do there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bank on trying to keep up with Packer, but you know, it's not like their lap times were super. Oh, there goes Andrew with a little bit of a spin, a little half spin there. But I wouldn't bank on trying to keep up with Packer on hards. But like, you know, Adrian RC, the pace was there. Like, they probably can. They probably can keep up. It was a quick formation lap, right?
Yeah, that was quick.
Hey,
And everybody's still bunched up. It's not like Packer just took off and now he's got to wait. Everybody's like right there pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So Beck and Puff disqualified. Team Money disqualified. I guess they missed their marks. Anyways, we got the grid reformed. It's round 11, the Hungary Grand Prix, Zenith Online Racing, Season 8, Tier 1. Let's get those lights fired up. 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And we're racing in Hungary. Let's go. Oh, big wheel spin there for Tebrum. Those hards not fired up. Say gets a really good launch. Say might have a look into turn 1 here. Adri is going to get that place. Oh,
maybe
he's on the outside of the track right now. He might not get it. It's going to be close. Puff has lost a spot. Puff and T-Money now going wheel to wheel.
Oh, 3 wide going through. Wow, and they made it through. They made it work.
T-Money, I think, has pipped Puff on the start, but Puff in a good spot still, so hopefully everybody gets through this corner okay. Oh, so McLaren running really wide there. Joshua looks like he recovered okay, and back to the front here. It looks like Say had a really good launch there, and that's...
Yeah.
I have to say for Tebrum, this is really bad news, because Say is going to be... Oh, Tebrum out!
Oh, no!
What happened?
What happened?
Unbelievable. Is that a safety car?
Right after.
I think he did. He was right behind Say, and maybe just got a little anxious on the throttle. No, I think that's a safety car. Or is it VSC?
I don't see one.
Yeah, VSC it looks like. Yep.
Which I prefer at this stage of the race, rather than
I think
a
so.
safety car.
And I don't think anyone's going to pit here. I can't imagine they will.
Yeah, no, there's...
Unless you were on mediums, maybe you switch to the hards and try to go to the end, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Or if you lost your wing, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're racing again. All right. Let's see if anybody pulled a gap out here. Looks like our midfield's going to be very competitive today. Everybody's still really close to one another. So it's a good opportunity for Adrian RC now on those medium tires. Can they get them fired up and start putting some pressure on Say? I think Say is going to be kind of the cork in the bottle for the rest of the field here. The outright pace is there, but the consistency hasn't been that great in the races, and now he's the guy between them and Packer. And, I mean, we've seen Packer just stretch his legs and take off multiple times, even with very quick direct competition. I don't think Say, if I had to put money on it, I wouldn't be betting that Say is going to keep up with Packer at this point. So, I mean, he's dropping tenths every corner, it seems. Adri and RC within the DRS of Say. That also has Lunar, T-Money, Puff, Beck right on the fringe of that, and then Joshua, Asylum, Sam, Simonglis, and Fusion. So literally the entire field within DRS range of one another. Save Packer at the front, and Vinny obviously at the very back. It looks like he has pit for possibly a wing change and a fresh set of mediums. So he'll be hoping for a proper safety car to get him back in the mix. Otherwise, he's just going to run his own race and on his own at the back and keep it quiet. So,
ooh, Adri took a look, broke really late.
Yeah, I think it's, if you're going to take a move, I think it has to be in the next lap or two, because once those hards get working, they're probably going to be, it's going to be tough to get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hards probably are just coming into their own now at this stage. Medium's probably working excellent at this stage. And it's just really a matter of if Adri can get it. If he gets an opportunity, I think Say... If I'm Adri, knowing what I know about Say at this stage, I would probably just bide my time, not do anything silly. Because more than likely Say is going to have a little moment somewhere where you're going to be able to make your move, but...
Fusion spun back around turn 5, turn 6.
Yeah. And that's Fusions. Who else is the reserve here? We got Fusions reserving, and I think that's it actually. Eh?
It might be. I think he was the only one that did not set a qualifying lap.
So I would assume the rest of the field would be somewhat happy to see that, because they don't want to have to be racing a guy who doesn't count. But
yeah.
This is it for Adri. He's got the DRS now. I think he's got to take a look here. He's going to have a peek. He's making Say think about it. And I think down to the next corner, I think Adri should have him done, but a little late on the throttle there. I don't think he's got enough. No.
I think Say really took that corner very well. Gave Adri very little choice but to fall in.
Mm-hmm. Kind of ran in a wide entry to get on the throttle sooner so that he could keep Adri behind down to turn 3, right?
Yeah, and Adri, I think he was almost 6/10 behind coming out of the last turn, so obviously he's going to want to try to be a little closer than that. It seems like Say, the last race, he ran a really slippery setup. He was able to hold back. I forget who it was. Was it was it Lunar? But anyhow, yeah, Adri's now only 2/10 behind, so it's looking good. If he can maintain this proximity, he can perhaps make the move down the end of the front straight.
Yeah, and it looks like RC is going to be the beneficiary of this battle as well, because he's going to pick up a double slipstream, and he is right in the mix. I could easily see both these guys getting by Say in the next lap or two. Adri's going to have a really good shot here. Has to take this down the inside. It looks like pretty much a... Oh, Say really... Oh, and RC, no!
Oh, damn.
I was going to say, Say took a really aggressive line there to try and get back at Adri into turn 3, but... And unfortunately for RC, he got a little... I think he got a little excited by the prospect of maybe getting up into P3 there and just sent the back end around. So RC once again plagued by the spins. Looked really strong tonight and is already down in 10th now. So
I've been watching this little battle here with Asylum and Josh, and Asylum is pretty much in the same seat that Adri was last time around when Adri was trying to keep up with Say.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing this for a couple laps now with Josh. I don't know if his tires are a little overheated at this point, but he's pretty close. I guess unfortunate for him though, Josh is also in the DRS range of Beck in front of him, so that's not really going to help.
Had a huge moment there. Big moment for Beck, and that might give Joshua a good run down the straight.
And Asylum, he's...
And look at this. Joshua and Asylum both in striking distance now.
And Asylum, he's got the outside line here. Oh!
Wow, great racing there from those two.
Good stuff.
We do have the McLaren special livery on right now too, I just noticed. With the pink trim and stuff.
Yeah, yep.
And they ran that a couple weeks ago in Singapore, I believe. Yeah, really good battle here for 7th, and I guess it's for 6th, sort of, because Beck is under pressure here. This has worked out brilliantly for Puff, because he's got a 4-second cushion behind him, and he's within striking distance of Lunar and Say ahead of him on hard tires. So Puff looking really solid at the moment in P5. Let's see if he can keep that going. I don't think he needs to do anything silly at this stage. He's just got to pray Beck keeps these guys behind, and Puff can actually manage his tires probably really well from here.
RC all over Sam. They're on the same tire compound. Really, all these guys except for Josh. These 3 drivers, and RC got compromised coming out of the last turn, but he's got the inside. He could make a move here. And he couldn't make it stick.
He's having a look for sure. And Zamagos is in the mix as well, so it's a hell of a battle we've got going on here. And I'm sure Puff would be glad to see how far back these guys are dropping.
Asylum doing all he can to really make Josh look all around.
Yeah, that's the kind of corner you don't want someone in your mirror. It'd definitely distract you trying to get through that corner safely. I mean, look at what's happened. Josh has nearly fallen out of that DRS range, so if Asylum can cause Joshua to sort of just be a little hesitant in certain aspects or certain areas of the track. Could pan out well.
Oh, RC spun again.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good from RC there. Hey, if he could just not spin, I mean, obviously easier said than done. But he'd be having a pretty solid season, I think.
Both him and Beck. Beck is always up there, and trouble seems. I'm going to knock on wood here. You know, things.
You're knocking on your
unfortunate.
Head?
Yes, exactly. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Pinocchio. Sorry, what was the, you want to finish that thought there?
Yeah, I didn't want to. Beck is always running up towards the top, but it always seems like something comes up to bite him, and not always his fault. But you know, I'm hopeful again that he can manage this and get through to the end without any serious incident.
Yeah, I think Beck needs, for his own sake, needs a good result here. Like, just, you know. You know what, though? I will say he never really beats himself up in the chat about it. I think he's just happy to show up and race, and, you know, if he spins a crash, oh, well, whatever, spun again. Carry on.
Yeah.
Like, he's just glad that he's fast and he can compete, right? So.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I know there's certain people that they definitely are a little harder on themselves when they make mistakes, and it's the nature of this online racing, I believe. But yeah, Asylum's done a really nice job hanging on to Joshua here, and he's got opportunities.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for him that you know, Josh is still tagging along to Beck. I mean, great racing for us, but I'm sure that Asylum is like, hey, I got these mediums here, 8 laps old now, I got to get by.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're on the mediums down in 8th and 9th right now, it's not looking good. Adri, I think, is in a phenomenal spot up in P2. You know, sort of running the reverse strategy. Obviously, if you're in the hards and you're in the top 5, you're doing really well. Yeah, noticing Lunar has caught Say. He's just inside the DRS range. And I feel like they'll squabble a little bit. That's going to bring Puff in the mix as well. So Puff now has completely forgotten about the cars behind him, and he's really looking ahead to the podium places here. And there should be a good little battle forming with those 3 guys in the next lap or 2. For now, we're still watching the battle with Joshua, Beck, Asylum, Sam, Samoglis starting to close in that gap as well. I wonder if him and RC maybe, or he had to react to RC's spin perhaps, because he was right there and he's just barely hanging on right now. He did reel that in a bit.
Closer.
Yeah, Asylum's as close as he's been. I think that DRS with Joshua, though, it's hard to get a really good look. Oh, late move! It was worth a shot. It was open. The barn door was wide open. Asylum tried to shove it in. And no dice. Joshua covers it off. I'm sure Joshua probably didn't think Asylum would try that, but that's going to cost Asylum a little bit of time. Probably by the end of the lap, they'll have recovered anything he lost there.
It almost seemed to me like Asylum was just caught a little bit by surprise with the break point of Josh. And it was almost like an evasive move by Asylum to make sure he didn't run into the back of Josh.
Yeah, that might have been it.
At least that's what it looked like.
I thought it was maybe like, oh, I'm going to pretend I'm not going for it, and then I'll just send it down the wide open inside line, because, I mean, it was there.
Definitely could be.
I mean,
Sector 1. Ooh, is that Fusions? Yep, Fusions went around turn 1.
You're not going to be able to try that too often. You know, late move and locking the brakes up. I mean, if it worked and you get ahead, then it's worth it, but you do that a couple times, you're going to start to hurt your tires, and then you'll be struggling to keep up, let alone keep the guys behind you that are there. So, and now Zamagos right on the tail of Sam. Lunar is in DRS range. He is closing in. Puff not quite there yet, but I imagine once Lunar gets close enough to take a look at Say, that'll probably bring Puff right in the mix. And really, Beck is he's if you look at, let's think here, where Packer, say it's 21 second pit stops, let's say. Packer has 6, 8, 16.
So
he's almost got enough to come out behind this little group, which he wouldn't want. He wants to get ahead of them, but if he stays out a little longer, like Packer, obviously on hard tires, going to run a lot deeper into the race, so Packer should be able to pit and come out and clear air quite easily.
So Josh has just slipped.
Yeah.
Well, he's slipping in and out of DRS range here with Beck. And I'm sure Asylum's keeping an eye on that. Wow, he's really made up a lot of time in that little stretch.
He has, and it'd be great news for Joshua if he could get Asylum off his tail.
When do you think the medium tire drivers will be medium compound drivers will be coming in?
I would think in the next few laps, really, like 15 laps. 15 would
yeah,
be.
that's.
If you're going to split the race up 15 and 20, it would seem to be the logical solution. So I think that the medium guys, at this stage, I think their window is open. I would say next lap is open, and it's really going to be circumstantial from that point. I think the guys in this little train here on the medium, like Asylum Sam, might be worth it for them to try and undercut. Puff is in a bit of a weird spot. He's probably better off to just keep running. Puff's not in really any danger of being undercut by the guys on the mediums behind him.
Right.
I would say if Puff can get to his target pit stop, he should just stick with that. The guys in this group, though, I think they're going to have to play a little bit of strategy with one another. And, I mean, if you look at the circumstances here, the guys on the mediums, if they pull off a successful undercut and get in front on hards, there's no guarantee that the guys that are on hards currently will come up behind them on mediums and actually be able to get by, because you can see what's happening here. The guys on the mediums sort of stuck in the mud right now. They're not really able to close and get by the guys on hards.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it's not by chance that, it's the driver. It's got to be the tire. I mean, all these guys are just so equally paced. So, yeah, I would expect somebody to make a move here with an early pit stop off of those mediums. Try to shake things up a little bit, because, like everybody says, you got to try something different.
Asylum has gotten all over the back of Joshua now. Beck, what happened to Beck? He had a spin?
He looks like, missed that.
I missed it too. I was checking the chat and I looked up and it's like, how did Joshua end up 10 seconds behind? Oh, where's Beck? Oh, there he is. Gone down behind Zamoglis now, so
yeah, maybe.
Mistake. This is it for Asylum. Asylum. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, maybe Asylum stays out for another lap, see if he can't overtake down this front straight and has much tighter line.
I agree. If you're Sam, though, do you consider the undercut? I mean, that would have been a great opportunity to do it now, I think.
Yeah, it really depends, I guess, on tire wear. Ultimately, do you feel comfortable, getting onto the hards at this point, or do you want to try to stretch your mediums?
Well,
I agree with you. I think that that would have probably been a good opportunity for him. A good gamble, if you will, a reasonable gamble.
I mean, if you pit now, you're coming out behind T-Money, who's on old mediums. I don't think you're going to have much of a problem making up ground. So, I think the undercut's on for these guys. Asylum, I think even should consider it as well to not only cover Sam, but also try and leapfrog Joshua, right?
Yeah, he's struggling now. He's really not making any inroads.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you're expecting the hards to go 20 laps, surely they can go 21, 22, right? And having track position will allow you to manage them a little bit better than trying to make overtakes. So, in my opinion, I think we're lap 15 now. This has got to be the pit window.
Yeah.
Who's going in here? Not Asylum. Sam is,
but
I think.
Sam is.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. Yeah, this is a really good move from Sam. I wouldn't be surprised if he's ahead of Joshua and Asylum after this, especially if they get into one another and start squabbling here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Asylum I think the tire wear is just beyond allowing him to really press Josh anymore.
Yeah, I think the hards have become probably a better tire at this stage of the race. They're probably, they got a little more life left in them, and the medium's probably really close to falling off the cliff. And I don't think any other medium guys have pit yet. So, I mean, if you look at Puff is still gapping Joshua at this stage. Puff really actually, he has a really nice window to come back into. He should slot in nicely behind T-Money. So it'd be 11. In fact, he might even come out in front of T-Money, and that would be mega. I don't think he has a whole lot to worry about, though, Puff, because Sam is 6 seconds behind T-Money. And we suspected that the guys... Yeah, yep. We suspected that they would come out behind T-Money. I didn't know how close. I think the delta's more like 24 seconds, probably. I was expecting them to be a little closer to T-Money.
So Tier 2, Tier 3, take note. We're going to find out if Sam made the right decision on the undercut.
I mean, he was right there, so this is really... And there's no traffic for Sam, so unless he's made some kind of error, I would assume he's got Asylum here. He's coming down the front straight already. This is going to be really close.
Yes. Oh, and he set the fastest.
Asylum is up to speed.
Asylum's tires will not be up to temperature, though.
No, that's what's going to hurt him, I think, is Sam is going to be able to make an attack here. I would say the gap is almost identical. It's almost the same as when he pit. I don't think... But, again, that could be, the way Sam enters the pit compared to the way Asylum entered the pit, and, there's a lot of factors that could play into that, so we don't really know how effective it is. But I mean, look at where he is, right? He's right on his tail, and his tires are warmed up. So this is huge for Sam. He definitely has a shot here. He's going to have DRS. Asylum will not get any assistance with the DRS ahead. So this is going to be really important for Sam. I think he needs to get this move done on this lap, or at the beginning of the next lap in those two DRS zones. Obviously, he's unlikely to make a move here, but...
No, I think, going down that front straight, if you can maintain this this distance here.
Okay, so say has made an error, or Lunar has passed him. Maybe, I think Lunar has gotten by, and we've missed that, so I apologize to Lunar and Say for that, but obviously we have a lot of interesting stuff going on here in this midfield battle, so it's hard to move away from it.
And Sam's gonna... Oh, so... close.
Yeah, it's not quite worked out for him.
No, I think Asylum has dodged a bullet there. T-Money off of those mediums and onto the hards. So we've got just 3 drivers left on their original medium tires. P2, P5, and P11.
So something we may have overlooked here in this whole battle between Asylum and Sam is Asylum's pace. He was stuck behind Joshua for quite some time, and now that he's been sort of released and is in clear air, his pace actually might be really solid. Obviously, Sam with the warm tires, and we kind of suspected he would get by there, but Asylum seems to have pace, so there's a good chance that that's the difference right now in that undercut overcut aspect. Puff is pit. Puff should have these guys covered well clear. Yeah. Well, Ed, it does look like we're going to get digital tonight. Puff is in shape for a really good finish, so hopefully he can keep that up.
So we got Adri on 17 lap old mediums in P2. 11 seconds behind Packer.
So Asylum
he probably ought to come in.
Asylum and Joshua and them were about 11, 12 seconds off Puff. I saw him down to 9 seconds off Puff now, so he's made up about 3 seconds by pitting 2 laps earlier. So I think that there is a case there to be made for the undercut being quite powerful. I think it's just circumstances there that it didn't work out for Sam. Maybe Sam made some error. And...
Let's see, how far behind? It'd be interesting to see where they end up when the guys in front of them finally box.
And Puff has lost another 1.5 seconds on this lap, so clearly the first lap on those hards, your tires are not working the way you want them. Fusions is out in the pits, it looks like he's retired.
Yeah, very frustrated.
Absolutely. I don't know if he uses assists normally, but it was like, oh, you know, it's a no assist, so if you want to reserve, go for it. So I'm not sure if maybe that had something to do with it.
Adri has boxed, come back out on the hards, of course. NP6 comfortably ahead of Puff.
Yeah. So Puff starting to sort of stabilize that gap with Asylum now. So I think our main battle here is going to be Asylum and Sam, it seems. And obviously Joshua, when he pits, is going to be a factor to consider as well. We don't know where he's going to pan out because he's run longer on the hard tires. But if we do some quick math...
Yeah, I'll leave that to you.
You know...
Oh, T-Money almost.
I think Asylum and Sam have both cleared Joshua at this stage. But he's going to be on much better tires. Yeah. I mean, look at the gap there. It's what, 3 seconds to Adri, 7-7. That's 17 seconds. There's no way you're getting a pit stop done in 17 seconds here.
Right.
What did I just say? It was, what, 23, 24, I figured?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's actually not that long of a pit lane here.
No, it's not. I think it's just sort of the speed everyone else is doing in the areas surrounding the pits. Guys come out of that final corner and they're going full speed, essentially, before you're even out of your pit box.
RC and T-Money looking to get by Vinny, and T-Money slips by RC. And T-Money looking to the inside, and oh no, and he, darn it, broke a little late, and then that cost him some traction.
Yeah, it looks like he may have lifted just a touch to try and avoid Vinny there, who was making the turn. I'm not sure how close they actually were, but it looked like T-Money had reacted to that, so maybe that had something to do with it. Puff seems to have got that gap under control to Asylum. He's not really losing time anymore. Obviously, 7 seconds behind Adri. He's probably not going to catch Adri either. So, Puff's in a really nice window here. Like, this is a really good opportunity for him to kind of just, like, take it easy, bring it home. He doesn't have to do anything silly. He doesn't have to push too hard. Like, and I think he needs a good result and a nice haul of points because he's had some really rough outings the last few weeks, so...
Yeah, these 20-lap-old hards must be getting a little...
Yeah.
Questionable. Beck is having a very hard time. I think he's probably just trying to get back to the pits at this point.
Sharpshooter confirming Fusions uses TC. So he spins a lot every time. Yeah, and that's what we suspect. I mean, but you know what? At least he gave it a shot. Credit to him. That's the thing, this is sort of our, we know that people are using assists in the other tiers, and if you're going to come in reserve here, we hope that you can at least not be a hazard. Try it out, have fun, race, push, do your thing, but, if you've never raced without assist before, never tried it, you don't know how the car is going to behave, highly recommend don't reserve in tier 1, because it can end up costing you in your own tier. But Fusions, I don't... Oh, no!
Josh lost it and Zem ran into him. They were probably both coming in the pit, so not a bad place. That is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Yeah, Zem has got to be fuming from that, and he's actually passed Joshua in that moment, so now they're both going to need wing change, I think, as well.
Yeah. Well, maybe not Josh. Josh got hit. He got kind of T-boned, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, Zamagos does need the wing change. Joshua won't. So Zem's
Nope.
going to stay behind. I mean, honestly, if you're going to get wing
Unfortunate.
damage on a freak accident like that, that's about the best place you could do it.
Yep, yep. And I was just dying to see how that played out. Were they both boxing? And uh, unfortunate that they had that
Okay,
incident. But
I think my math is very, very bad because Joshua's somehow not that far off. Oh, Sam's had a mistake, though. He's 11 seconds off Asylum now.
ooh,
Oh, so
yeah, you're right.
that is huge, yeah. So Sam's had some kind of error, and that's why Joshua's so close to him. Really, like, he was right. So really, Josh, I mean, what do you think he lost there? 6, 7 seconds? So he's probably about 3, 4 seconds behind them.
Yeah, he lost it. He probably lost 5 because. Oh no! And there goes Adri. He spun. Careful, Adri. Yeah, don't want to go into the wall. I was going to say because Zamoglis may have run into him, but he was still facing the pit, so
Right.
usually you end up with like an 8-second pit stop when you have to replace your front wing. But Josh still was able to stay out in front of him, so he really didn't lose that much time. And I think Josh spun around. He had to kind of turn himself back around.
So where's our best battle right now? I mean, at this stage, it looks pretty sad.
Well, Packer's
I think
looking to regain the lead.
Joshua got, yeah, I mean, that's just pretty much as certain as the sun rising tomorrow. Um, I would say it's got to be Joshua on the mediums and Zem, I guess, too. Both of them trying to make their way through. Well, so Joshua should get by Sam pretty quick, you'd think, without Sam having help. Then can Joshua close enough on Asylum? I don't think so. So I'm wondering if Asylum can find the pace he needs to go get Adri. I doubt it. Adri's been quick all year. Maybe Adri reeling Puff back in. That could be a good battle to watch. Ultimately, at this stage, though, it seems like we're watching Delta battles. There's really hardly any penalties either. Great job from everybody. No penalties out there.
I think Zem is kind of creeping back in into Mr. Joshua. However minutely it may be.
I'm surprised everyone, I'm just reading the chat here, I'm surprised everyone thinks ABS is harder to get rid of, because personally I found that was super easy to get rid of. The traction control I found to be, I think I dropped everything at the same time though, so it was kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly was the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got rid of them at this, I'm pretty sure I had already dropped ABS though, and I had traction control and gears on still. So for me, it was always like, well, yeah, I got rid of ABS and it was fine. But, you know, I think if you do all of it together, it's obviously is going to be pretty tricky. So, but I think the thing with the ABS is that guys, you know, they've learned their braking points, they've learned their braking pressure at all these circuits over the years while using that assist, and then once it's gone, it completely changes the scope of your braking zone, your braking power. You know, the way you've got your wheel pointed while you're braking, all that stuff is affected, right? So I think that maybe is why it is so much harder for them to figure out. It really depends on like how long you've been doing it, and I think that all has a factor. So maybe that probably has a lot to do with why I struggle to understand it. It's just like the lack of experience.
So it looks like Mr. Joshua might be able to overtake Sam here. I don't think Sam has much of a chance to fight it off.
He did a good job there breaking that toe, and it was enough that he had a shot, but yeah, Joshua just way more traction. He's got on the power nicely there, and he sails right through. So Joshua does have a good chance to go chase down Asylum here. I think a second a lap on much fresher mediums, probably doable. I think he would hope that Asylum would be in some traffic at this stage. It would be easier for him, but
yeah, so right now we got, what, 10 laps left?
you know,
and No, I don't.
Lunar has to pit still.
Oh my.
So Puff's actually... Oh no, look at this! Joshua's made an error! Big mistake from Joshua. And he lets Zem through. And RC possibly going to be able to close in a bit too. You know, look at Lunar's delta here. 4 plus 16, Puff's 9 off, so 29 seconds. So Puff, I don't think will have a shot at Lunar at this stage. Lunar would have to make a pretty big error, I believe, for Puff to get a shot at P3 here, but he does have to pit, and I mean, if he's going to the softs, he probably needs to consider coming in now if he wants to try and close back in on Say to overtake. I think he's shooting for P2 here. He's going to try to go to the softs and try to get back in front of Say after.
And he has the pace, I think. You're right. If he gets onto the softs, he could probably chase him down. But he can't keep losing time here.
No.
And he is boxing.
I mean, even if he puts the mediums on now, he's going to have a significant grip advantage. So it could work out nicely for him. But I would imagine he's going to softs if you're going this deep. And
it looks like the soft tires to me.
Yeah. I was going to say years ago, I ran a soft hard in this race. I ran soft. I started like 5th or 6th and ran softs and got up into the top 3 and just was away from everybody. Was able to just kind of drive, and I ended up getting a podium out of it. So it is a viable strategy. It does work, and he's only 3 seconds off Say. So it is about a 20-second pit stop. It's about a 20-second pit stop. 21 maybe. But yeah, I think Lunar's got this. I think and the softs are going to work well for at least 4 laps. That should be enough time for him to catch Say and get by. And I'd imagine they're already warmed up at this stage.
Right. Just following along Zem and Sam. Boy, Sam was square dancing. He was all over the place trying to break that slipstream. And I mean, it's only a matter of time here. Josh is on Zem's on mediums, and
people want to know the fastest lap. No shock, it's Packer, 18.5 right now, which is a really good lap on race fuel.
Yeah, wow, Lunar's already got that down to under a second and a half.
Yeah, I suspected that he would be well within range.
Oh, Zem. Oh, this could have been the lap. He kind of got squiggly there coming out of the next to last turn. Still in DRS, but that's not going to happen this lap.
It's unfortunate because Zem was, I think it was Zem who was like really hoping that Lunar, because Lunar missed the first few races, right? And he was kind of like, hey, where's my teammate? Like, we could be having a good run at the constructors here. And look what Lunar's doing now tonight. Like, I mean, he's pretty, oh, big moment for Say.
Saved it.
He did save it. Nice job. I don't think you should feel too bad about that because Lunar was going to get by him anyway.
Yeah.
The important part is not to overreact and make sure you keep Puff behind you at this stage, right?
Right, yep.
Oh no, Puff. Oh my goodness. He's let Adri through and it looks like Asylum as well.
Do you think he got wing damage?
I don't think so. I'm not really sure what he did, but
he's staying out.
Yeah, he'd have to at this stage. I think he just needs to get the tires under control, and he can get Asylum back. He's quick enough. Like, Puff easily can get Asylum back. I think he's lost that spot to Adri, though. He's not getting that back. Say, well off the pace now from Lunar. Like, he's pretty much locked into P3. I would just bring it home.
Boy, the tension Sam must feel with Sam behind him on the better tire compound. Only 7 laps left to go. You know, you're holding on to 7th place. You want to hold on to that if you can.
Yeah. I don't think I've even refilled my wine. It's time for that.
So Puff's tires are 2 laps fresher than Asylum's, and he is within DRS.
Yeah.
He's still can be hopeful.
I think he's got enough pace to get by Asylum. I think Puff was quicker than all of those guys that were chasing Beck earlier in the race. I think he's clearly got pace on them. So I don't know if it's enough to get the overtake done, but he should be able to, I think.
Yeah, and I think Zem's got this one this time. However, Sam got wow. Great job for Sam. Really was able to pull away coming out of the last turn. Oh no, and Zem went around. And Mr. Joshua says thank you. Yeah, so now our closest battle is your good friend Puff and my good friend Asylum.
Yes, sir. Get back to that. So we're running pretty close to the 9:30 window. I haven't had dinner or showered yet, which is ridiculous and why I hate Mondays at work. So I think once we're done, I'll send the invites to the top 3, and I'll kind of let you run the interviews, and then I'll just wrap the stream up once I get back from having a shower, and I'm presuming you guys will be done by then. So
yeah, I'll probably be done. I'm going to try to be somewhat brief.
Yeah,
depends on how things go, but
yeah, I just roughly,
that's
especially
totally
because we're running later. Yeah, just try to stick to like one quick question for each guy, and I don't really know. Like, I mean, what are you gonna ask Packer? How many trees? How many trees could you count around the Hungary ring while you were out there? And then obviously Lunar and CAA, a little more interesting because they actually ran pretty intriguing races. Packer at this stage could pit and go for fastest lap on the softs if he wanted.
yeah, running out of creative questions for Packer.
Yeah. Tell us how good it feels. See you later. How does it feel to be still in contention for a championship after missing 7 races?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff, yeah.
Did you really have to practice a lot for this race? I think Packer runs in a few leagues, or he has in the past. He has in the past, so I mean, I don't think that he really has to. You know, if you're racing 2 or 3 leagues, you really don't need to practice. Each race is a practice, eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
So Asylum's done pretty well to hold back Puff.
Yeah, Puff can't.
Lunar. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Puff can't really. That's giving Say a P2 currently. That's huge for Lunar to do that. He needs to build that gap up. Yeah, Puff seems to be kind of just stuck on the outskirts of that DRS range. And something I suspected earlier in the race, I didn't really mention it, was I was wondering if Asylum was running a really like low wing setup because he seemed to have really good straight line speed. Actually, Asylum has caught up to Adri now as well.
I was just checking that out too.
Did Adri make a mistake?
And Adri's got the fresher tires too.
Maybe Adri had an error because I thought he was like 5 seconds up on these guys. Now Puff really reeling in Asylum, so it's not completely out of the question that Puff could get that spot that he lost back, but he's running out of time to do it. And he hasn't really shown us that he's close enough to make a move on Asylum at this stage, so.
And all these drivers that are, you know, within striking distance of the guys in front of them, or they feel like they're, the guys behind them are too close, and they have 2 warnings. I mean, how do you drive these last 2 laps?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's imperative you don't get penalties right now. This close to the end.
Asylum is reeled in Adri. I wonder if Adri has some damage.
Did he get involved in contact at all, or maybe hit the wall on a spin or something?
Perhaps, yeah, because he's really been running pretty much alone. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where on track you might incur just a little bit of damage without losing a ton of time.
So RC is currently 10th and has just done the fastest lap. He's taken that from Packer. And I think Lunar has a shot on the older softs. And Packer could pit and get fastest lap. Who was that? Oh, it's T-Money.
I think that was T-Money.
Saw the Ferrari.
T-Money.
I thought it was Asylum for a second. Okay, I don't know where the detection point is, but Puff was within a second and didn't have DRS last time. I think that's it right there, and I think he just dropped out of it again. I don't think he has it.
I think he got it. I think he does. I have the telemetry up, and it shows that he does.
Puff, his wing's not open.
It wasn't?
No.
It's showing me that... I'm sorry. My bad. Totally my bad. I'm on with Asylum.
Yeah. Puff was 1 second and 19 hundredths as they cross that white line. It's like just before they enter... Oh, Puff is spun again! Oh my goodness. And that's Sam through, surely. Ah, Puff.
Careful on those hot tires now, Puff. Yeah.
I mean, that's... Yeah.
I don't
want to dunk on him because I'm sure he's feeling it already, but that's a very bizarre place to lose the car. I'm sure he's fuming. That was...
Seye has overtaken Lunar. What happened to Lunar?
I don't know. I think his softs might be dead. They do look really rough. I don't know what happened there, because I think it's just straight pace, because Packer had 27 seconds and now Seye has 29. I think Lunar genuinely just doesn't have any tire left. I think his tires are toast.
Seems to be okay.
Yeah, I think he's okay to bring it home, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to compete there. And he's still got that penalty too, so Seye's basically locked up a P2 here.
Zeman Mr. Joshua still from nose to tail.
Packer crosses the line officially for the win. We haven't even looked at Packer since the start of the race. Sponsors hate us.
Yeah, right. Say what a race.
Yeah, a hell of a race. He had zero confidence coming into this thing too. Lunar brings it home for third. That's a great podium for Lunar. Adri looks pretty safely in P4 here. I don't suspect there'll be any issues with him bringing that home. Asylum with a P5. Solid result for Asylum. So Adri and Asylum, I think, did they both have mistakes tonight? And then Sam, I don't think Sam made any errors. I think it was just Sam kind of just got stuck in that. Dropped out of that group. And then obviously Puff with a few mistakes has cost him P4. He's down to P7. That's not a huge loss. Still P7 is not bad. But he definitely threw away a few points there. And that's unfortunate after the luck he's had this year. So Joshua brings it home in 8th. I think RC got the fastest lap.
Asylum gets driver of the day. Let's see, we got Packer. Seye.
Yeah, sharpshooter, just going back to your ABS discussion there. you actually have a good point there. Not only changes the brake input, but you have to change the steering input as well. Yeah. Yep. I know I'm just a commentator to you guys, but I do know a thing or two about racing, and I understand the mechanics of the assists and all that stuff, so there's a reason I'm here. It's not just for my good looks and my sexy voice.
Yeah, I have no idea why I'm here. I don't have any of that. I don't have any.
It's your childlike enthusiasm for racing, I think yeah.
There we go. It's something.
Yeah. And I think you underestimate your voice. Your voice it's a great voice for commentary, and I think it's hard to ever understand that when you listen to yourself speak, you know what I mean? Like, it's like an internal thing that you don't think your voice sounds good when you hear it. But yeah, I think I think that definitely has something to do with it for sure.
I don't think I've listened to one single broadcast that I've streamed.
I watch them occasionally, especially if they were like really fun, and I feel like I was like on my game, you know, like I'll kind of like go through them, but yeah, I don't bother. All right, where's our top three? Packer,
Say
and Lunar. All right, let's get those guys in here. I don't know if I have Lunar on my friends list. I don't.
No? Excuse me. See if I do.
I don't say either.
I know I have Say. Let's see. I do have Lunar. Oops. Did I do that wrong? Come on,
Yeah,
JP, what
I
are you
don't
trying
have
to
either
do?
of them. I do have. Wait, where's Packer?
I'm doing that wrong. So I can get Say and.
Oh, there's Packer. All right.
There's Lunar.
I got Packer.
And okay. So I just gotta find. Say have any letters in front of his?
Nope,
I don't
it's
think
just
he does.
Sayay. I think once you type that in, it should show up. You know what? I feel like I've invited him enough times. I don't understand why. I probably could find him. Maybe he is on my friends list and I just don't see him.
And come on, where are you, buddy? There we go. All right. So I sent out invites to both Say and Lunar.
Okay, I got Sayay there as well. All
There's
right,
Lunar.
party started. I'm gonna mute and head out, take my shower, do all that good stuff. I literally got home 10 minutes before the race started, so I'm gonna have to jet. But great job, everyone. And GP's gonna carry the interviews and all on the broadcast once I get back.
Real quick, Bigga, you did send an invite out to Packer?
I sent one to Packer, yes.
Okay, all right. He's not here yet, but he finished
Okay.
P1, so I'll...
Yeah.
All right, cool. Great race, guys.
Thanks.
Wildly entertaining. No safety cars. That's a good show. So Lunar, P3. What happened on that next to last lap? We thought that you probably had Say covered on those softs. Did they slip out from under you, wear away, or?
Yes, softs are a joke. I miss the good old medium to soft strategies, and what I liked about those strategies was the tire delta between the soft and the medium. I feel like the mediums and hards in this game, like, you only see the difference after a certain amount of laps, and it's just, I don't know. I miss being able on a soft going against people on mediums, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to try it again, and it worked. I was like, oh yeah, and I'm not joking. The lap after I overtook Say, I think had a 3-second gap, and that's it. They died instantly. Like, it wasn't even gradual. It's just the next lap they just wouldn't turn in anymore. It's the understeer city.
What
And I
was
was
your
running
wear?
full wings. It's just painful.
What tire wear? What were your tires at
So-
that point?
They were only 20%. That's why I was so confused. My
Really?
hards at 20% are like beautiful. Even
Huh.
the mediums aren't that bad at 20%. I don't know. It's just
Oh yeah, because we were surprised. We thought, okay, yep, say he's comfortably in third. Lunar's finally, it worked out for him. Very surprised when it didn't play out the way we thought it would, which must have surprised you as well. Any interesting moments in the race for you that you can share with us?
yeah, definitely. I think first one is RC spinning. That got me a position. The start was crazy. It was like 3 wide with Puff and T-Money. I don't know how I ended up ahead of both of them because I think both of them were on the mediums. And then after that, I think like fighting with Say throughout the race was fun. The only action you have when Packer's just out in the front,
Yeah, he kind of was out by himself there. I hope he wasn't too bored.
Yeah, not.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. Well, again, congratulations. Great job. Unfortunate that the softs gave up on you the way they did, but still a strong finish, P3.
Nice.
So, great job. Okay, say unmute, bud.
Hello.
How are you?
Tired.
Tired?
Race is mentally exhausting.
It is long, and but you survived, obviously. And were you surprised when Lunar on the softs all of a sudden seemed to fall off the pace?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting his tires to just fall off that fast because he only boxed like 3 laps before, and it's like, oh well, he's gone. I just settled into P3. All of a sudden, I see that he stagnates at 3 seconds. I'm like, oh. All of a sudden, slowly but surely, his second gap from 3 goes to 2.5, 2 seconds, 1.5. I'm like, oh, all right, well. And I just start pushing because I had about 90% ERS. Like, I wasn't using battery because I was settling for the P3. And as soon as I saw Lunar stagnate, I started pushing.
Mm-hmm.
And once we entered lap 35, I had the DRS and just passed them.
Yeah, we were... Oh, go ahead.
I was just like, that was it. Just finished the race. P2. I'm happy.
Oh, you got to be. Yeah, Bigger said that you weren't overly confident before the start of this race. I think you're trying to fool us all.
No, I was wibbly wobbly all the time. I couldn't gain time on. Well, Packer's just built different. He's just unstoppable at this rate. But yeah, like I couldn't gain time. I was only losing time, really.
Yeah. So, were there any moments in the race where you felt like you were really close to binning it, or any moments that really stand out in your mind?
Turn 3, I had almost a half spin, but I caught it. In sector 2, Lunar passed me because I had a little snap of the rear end. And yeah, I think tires were done by that lap, so I boxed that lap. But really just trying to stay awake. That was the challenging part. Because the track is just so, like, uninteresting and dull. It's not dull, like, it could produce good racing at some point, but, like, when Packer's 30 seconds ahead and, like, I'm just chilling, just try to bring it home and stay awake.
Yeah, early on, right up through the middle of the race, we were treated with a lot of really close battles. However, it always seemed like there was somewhat of a DRS train, so that kind of stagnated things a little bit. However, it seemed like there was a lot of good jostling around going through the more technical part, Sector 2 there. But, all in all, a good race for everybody because, no safety cars. I think that might have been just one VSC.
Yeah, one VSC at the start.
Yep. So great job for all of you guys there. So congratulations. Say P2's not anything to be disappointed at when Packer actually takes P1 by nearly 30 seconds.
Podiums, I'm happy.
Cool. All right. Well, again, congrats, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Packer, welcome back.
Hello.
Were you bored?
No, I had like 5 people in my party screaming about the NFL game, so I couldn't get too bored.
All right, so obviously it was a pretty clean race for you. But were there any points during that race where you felt like you just saved it, or, you know, again, something that might stick out in your mind, that a memorable part of the race other than the finish?
I mean, I had 2 or 3 snaps. I think 2 of them were on the hards and like 1 on the mediums or something. But yeah, had a few scary moments, but nothing too serious, I guess. But I mean, besides that, and then I guess maybe wondering why Adri went so long in the mediums, but that's the only thing really, I guess.
Why Adri was what? No longer on the mediums?
Because when I talked to him before the race, I gave him the recommended strategies, and I told him like lap 15, 14, 15, medium hard, and he
Gotcha.
went to lap 18, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Or if you pit earlier, you gain a lot more time, but
Yeah,
that's what
I think I may be misremembering here, but didn't Adri take his hards to like lap 25? And then
I think that was
no, I'm sorry. I'm misremembering. It was Lunar that did that. Yeah, Adri had a pretty good race, but quite a few of the guys towards the back were having some, you know, back end snapping on him, you know, oversteer. Well, maybe not oversteer, but, you know, the back end just coming out around on him. And that really, the order really jumped more because of that than any really good on track passes, unfortunately, that we could see anyways. And unfortunately for you, Packer, I mean, being so far out front, we were just locked in on the guys behind that were having good battles, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Packer just crossed the start finish line. Well, that's the race. But, you know, great race. I wish I was kind of hoping that we might have a safety car to kind of bring everybody back together again and have some good battles, but, you know, a race without a safety car is not a bad thing.
yeah, it's nice.
That's fair. All right. Well, we're running a little late here, so I guess we'll just wrap this up. I just want to congratulate you guys again. Great racing here in Hungary, and so be sure to tune in on Wednesday, 8 o'clock, and Thursday, 8 o'clock for Tier 2 and Tier 3, respectively, here in Hungary, Season 8, Race 11 for those 2 tiers. And, yeah, be sure to join us because it's always interesting. So with that, I'll just let you guys go. Thanks again. Great race. Congratulations.
Thanks, GP. Have a good night.
See you. Thanks.
Thank you.
You too, guys. Take care.